Good morning. It is time for Art in the AM, and I am working in this little journal that I have been using for my series in 2025 that I am calling Word of the Week. So each week I pick a word, I do a little bit of art, I share the definition, the synonyms, antonyms, sometimes a quote, sometimes a color that is associated with that word. Kind of depends on what the word is. And I have been doing that every day on Mondays in 2025, so that each word is on one of these pages in this really nice book. I think I've mentioned this one before. It is in my Amazon shop as a recommendation. So if you are interested in finding out all of my recommendations of supplies and things that I share on here in some of my groups and things like that, this is a watercolor book that I actually had my friend Lori send to me. It came in a package of 2, and they're just a really nice size, and the paper is really nice too. So you can just put in the comments there, Amazon shop or something, and I will make sure that you have access to that. But each week I will put the definition, the antonyms, synonyms, sometimes a quote or something like on the back. So each page in here has the word and then the information on the back. And I realized a few weeks ago I was just about halfway in the book, which works out pretty well because we're about halfway through the year. So I think that I will be able to have all of the words of the week here in the book. If this is your very first time watching, I know I have a lot of new people on Facebook. I have a lot of new people subscribing over on YouTube if you would like to watch the replays over on YouTube. And my name is Jamie, and I have been here on Creations of Studio 39 when I first started live videos on April 1st of 2020. So over 5 years I've been doing these live videos. There are a lot of videos here on my page on Facebook. I am getting videos over onto YouTube. So if you are someone who wants to learn a little bit about some of the things that I taught as an art teacher, as a high school art teacher for 13 and a half years, that's kind of what I share. I share like new things that I'm learning. I share just ideas to get you started creating, to kind of get over that that fear or that hesitation of not feeling like you are good enough, not feeling like you have enough ability, you have enough talent to get started. I just want to give you ideas to just like get playing and get creating. And I have a fun idea today. Today, my word, last week, tell me if you watched this one, I wrote the word afterwards, and I know I can't even read the word for that backwards because I wrote it like in a scripty, hi there, Lori. Wrote it like in a scripty kind of letter, but it was the word quiet. And I taught about how to take something that was really bright, that had a lot of loud colors, and how to quiet it down with white. I have a different word picked out for today. And when I started thinking about what I wanted to do, I decided, maybe this is the very center of the book. I came up to a where the threads are right there. I might be right in the very center. This might actually be. I think it is. I think that's the very center because I can see the signature, the threads where it was sewn together. I might be right in the center. The word I'm going to pick today is the word create. And I decided to do this because tell me if you saw, tell me if you saw on my page the other day, I asked if you would be willing to help me with something. You would be willing to help me out with a little something that I have coming up. So tell me if you saw that while I'm grabbing some papers that I have here. that we're going to use for today, and the word create. Some of these, and oh, that might work. Okay, I think I have more than enough here. I need 5, right? I want C-R-E-A-T 6. C-R-E-A-T-E. I need 6. I need 6 pieces of paper. Tell me if you saw that image that I'm talking about, where I asked if you would be able to help me, if you would be interested in helping me out with a little something that I have coming up. Hi there, Janet. I had a lot of people say yes, which I appreciate. I appreciate that very much. And they didn't even know like what it was. I was asking, so I thought that was pretty fun that they were willing to help, even though they didn't know what it was. So Lori said that she saw it, and I had several other people. Well, I will tell you today what that is while I'm picking out my 6 pieces of paper here, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on the back of this piece of paper, and I'm going to turn it around to make sure that I'm doing it right side up for you. I know the letters are going to be backwards. Well, they're going to be backwards and, but at least I feel like they're going from this direction to this direction. And if someone can keep track of the time, I only have about a half an hour. I have about a half an hour to be on here before I have another Zoom. So I was going to set a timer, but I did not do that. I could probably go ahead and set a timer that I have over here. I'm looking for some other papers because right now I only have, this will probably work. I kind of want them all different. So I'll show you what I'm doing here in a second, and then we'll do the word create. But I have 30 minutes, and then I have another Zoom with some of my creative paint party friends, and we're gonna be painting, and that starts right at 11 o'clock. So thank you, Lori. Maybe I'll do. These are all. Oh, here we go. This will definitely work. Okay, aren't these fun? I had extra paint. They kind of go together like this, I feel like, with these like little spirals or something on there. So I'm going to use these. And then I have these. I don't know, I might not use that one since I have these other 3 pieces of paper here. I don't think I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to go ahead and add some color on the back here. I didn't bring over any paints, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of these, which are my gel sticks. Hi there, Sue. You know, Lori, these are the kinds of papers, every time that I have extra paint, I always add it onto paper. And this texture, I believe, was with it's a stiff brush. Why can I not think of what the kind of brush it is? I get them at Harbor Freight, and they're really stiff. What is this kind of a brush called? I can't even remember. It's early on a Monday morning. But I think that's how I did that texture. And there it was just like a really dry brush, and it was one of those kinds of brushes. And I just put the extra paint on there. So I just have fun. And here's some other ones. They're in greens, which I could do the word create all in the greens, but I think I'm going to use these. You know, I kind of like these. So I think I'm just going to do them out of these. But here's what I'm going to do on the back here first is add some color. So I have these gel sticks, And this is just white right now because I don't want it to be too dark in the back. And these are really, I use these quite a bit for adding color in different ways. And I think I might do some other colors in here too. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about, I'm going to go ahead and do some blue, I think, on here, because then when the blue and the pink add together, what color will they make? They will make purple. And then that way I'll have all three of my favorite colors on here. This is kind of a pearlescent one. And I'm just adding some color in here. And it's already kind of mixing together in a couple of places to make the purple. Okay, now I'm going to take some water and a paintbrush. Does anybody know what that kind of paint? Why can I not think? A chip brush. Yes, Janet, a chip brush. Here, let me move my paint water out of the way there. So see how it's kind of making this purple kind of color? And this will just give me kind of a background, and then I'll let it dry. And depending on how much water you add and how much you move it around, you can still see the lines of the gel sticks, or you can, you know, almost completely blend those out. If you don't have paint, or if you're traveling, these gel sticks are great to be able to take because they don't take up a lot of room. You don't have to worry about, you know, having a palette. I just kind of color them, and then, you know, you can get water. I've used my little water bottle to have water. So, okay. And then I will let this dry a little bit. But see, it just kind of makes like a fun kind of background. And some of the places I left more of the marks. And so I think that that'll be a fun background for a contrast with these papers here. Okay. And then tell me if you collect tags. So I have this whole stack of tags like from clothing. And I'm going to pick out 6 for my letters that I'm going to do. And that is how I'm going to make the word create on here. Since I know that this is the same size as this while this is drying over here. So I just save the whole tag. If it has a string on there, I just, you know, things from the Dollar Tree. I do like the circle one quite a bit. Tags like this from clothing. And this one was a really pretty one with those designs on there. I could actually even just like use that like it is. Wouldn't even need extra paper. I will save this one. Sometimes I'll actually save tags, you know, from gifts, you know, like at Christmas. This one's actually more like a sticker, but I like the shape and the little design that was on there. Some of these are really like a heavier cardboard, you know, kind of, I don't even know what this, oh, these are with the little puff things that you use in the shower. Okay, so I need to find 6 that I want to use for my letters so that they'll fit on this page here. And I will cover them with, I kind of like this little tiny one here. I really like the circular ones. That's really kind of cool with just the black on there too. Oh, look, I found another one that has that same little design on there. 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5. Oh, this is kind of fun too because it has those letters through there. Thank you, Lori. They're shiny, right? They're glossy. and then the background is a matte. Okay, let me do one more here, and I think that's too big. I think I'll use that one. So I have these squares. They might be too big, but then maybe I can use these. And I might use these little tiny ones here. I do really like those. I think this one's too big. So let's do those. And I wish I had one more. Well, I would need 2 other ones of this, right? So if I find 2 other ones that are similar. Sometimes I'll just put little pieces of paper in there because that's kind of like a tag, right? I've used these for a lot of different things. Sometimes I will do, well, I kind of like this one because it's like on an angle. Let me see if I have 2 of those on connects. I'll use them as little bookmarks, like I'll collage over them and add some things to them, and then I'll use them like as a little bookmark, or I'll stick them in like some of my journals or things like that. There's a lot of different things, so I just saved like the whole stack of tags. Okay, these other 2 I think are going to be different. So I kind of like that this one is similar. I'm just kind of like spacing them out. So I think I might want that to start. So maybe I'll do the circle in the middle. Here we go. And then I think I want all of the letters to be underneath that first letter. So I'm going to have all of my letters go across here. They're going to be on the other piece. And I think what I'm going to do is I really do like the design of these. So I have an idea. I definitely want to cover up this because it has the lettering on there. The black one I think is fine. So maybe I'll just cover up this one. So definitely these 3 I need to cover up. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip this over. I kind of like the surprise of just gluing them on and then kind of just, you know, they just wherever they are. Okay, here's what I need help with. Tell me if you know anyone who is a creative business owner. Like you know them personally, you talk with them, you know somebody who owns a creative business like this one, like what I have. They're doing something creative where they are teaching, they're having paint parties, they are selling something creative, they are a painter where they're selling their artwork. Tell me if you know a creative business owner. And then I will tell you what it is that I'm working on that I would like your help with. And I think just for fun, I'm going to turn this one this way so it'll be a little bit different. And I think I'm going to go ahead, even though I like this in black, I think that I'm going to go ahead and put that on there too. So tell me if you know personally somebody who has a creative business, they are doing something creative to make money. And it's somebody that you talk to. It's somebody that you that that you would feel comfortable like contacting. And then I'll tell you what it is, what the little project is that I have going on. Because here's what I've learned. It is helpful to have other people know what it is that you're doing so that they can tell. I should have put one over here. That would have been like a cool design. I'm just going to go ahead and cut them, and then I'll find out what they look like on the other side. I have found out that it is helpful to have people know what it is that you're doing so that they can tell other people. And that is what I am wondering if you can help me with, because I have something coming up for creative business owners. And mainly here, I talk more about the creative side of my business, the actual creating part. Thank you, Lori. But I do have a creative business owner basics, I call it CBOB group. And that is specifically more for the creative business owners. And I love teaching. I mean, that's why I do the live videos. That's why I have a creative business. I love teaching other people how to be creative, how to start creating, how to think creatively. And I also like teaching in other ways. And that's where the creative business owners come in. So I help the creative business owners, and it's similar to what I do, as I'm creating, because when I'm creating, I think through a structure. I think through steps. I think through, I'm going to keep all of these little scraps over here. And now I get to turn these over and see what they look like. Oh, I love that one with a little swirl. Oh, these are so fun. I think I'm going to keep these, but I'm going to find 2 other ones to use instead of these, because I love how these look. I mean, how fun is that? You just glue some paper onto a tag and it just creates this fun little... Now I'm trying to find 2 other ones that are alike. Because I do tend to get similar things. So I end up having, here, I think I can use these. And I will just cut them. Anyway, I do really like helping the creative business owners too. So I have my course coming up, and my course is called Create. And I know, Lori, I really like them too. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think I'm going to have, some areas where I overlap it over there. So it is coming up. I don't have the dates right in front of me, but it is coming up. So I would like to know if you could pass along to someone else that you know that has a creative business to join my CBOB group. 6 minutes. Thank you, Lori. If you could tell them about this creative business owner basics group, and I will put the link for that group up in the description of this event of this video after my Zoom that I have. I would like to know if you would be willing to tell someone that you know to join that group so that they would know more about my Create course coming up. Because I have seen where that course has helped the creative business owners that I know that I've had in there. I call them my alumni, the students that have gone through the course. I've seen where it's helped them to be more confident and to have more confidence in their business. I'm going to go ahead and see, I still have this whole extra piece here. So I'm going to finish up these, and then I will I will post a picture of this. Well, this has a little rounded corner. But I've seen where the course really helps the creative business owners come together in the course and have a community of other people that understand them, that get them, that understand the challenges and all of those things that are different than if you are creating, right? Having a business, a creative business, it can be challenging. And I have seen the students come through that course and just be much more confident and not feel stuck. So there are my other two little fun ones. Aren't those fun? Okay, I'm going to lay them out here. My paper is dry so that you can see. So how fun is this? I just took a couple of gel sticks and I might have to think about like which letters would fit. I want this one to be on top, but I might play around with these a little bit and just, you know, kind of see. Want that in there. And then that already kind of looks like the E with the lines going out. I might actually turn this one so it kind of looks like an E. Maybe somehow like that. This should go under. I want all of them to go under. So you can kind of get the idea of the letters that are going across here. So Lori's keeping such a great time for me. So I do have to go ahead and go because 11 o'clock is my other Zoom. I will put this together. I will take a photo of it later and I will post it. But the thing that I was wondering if you'd help me with is to kind of pass along that I have this group called CBOB, the Creative Business Owner Basics Group. And that is where I'm going to be talking more about the Create course coming up and all the information and the dates and everything. And if you have taken that course, I see a few of the pictures of people who have taken the course, and you want to make a comment here on the video about what that course did for you and how it helped you, you can go ahead and put it here in this video. And I'll be sharing more about that Create course over in that group. I hope all of you have a great Monday. And as always, thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for just helping me to pass along being creative and how important it is, and showing up for these little word of the weeks, which have been so fun just to do a little bit of art and kind of focus on a word. I'll be sharing more about the word create with the definition and things like that and some of my favorite quotes on the back, and I'll make a post of that later on in the day. So have a great Monday, everybody. Thanks.